Hi everybody, this is Tim from Boatshed Yacht Brokers on board this 2011 Beneteau Oceanis 40 yacht for a look around her interior in detail to give you an idea of what she's like inside without you actually being here. So how are we going to achieve that? Well, it's a virtual reality video, so all you need to do is click and drag your screen or swipe your screen up, down, left or right, and you can look around wherever you like, when you like. And as I said, hopefully you'll feel what it's like to be here without actually being on board. Some people are sensitive to the movement of the camera. If that may be you, I'll let you know when the camera is going to be relocated so you can avert your eyes. Then I will then let you know when the camera is going to be put down safely so you can return and finish the tour with me. But let's hope that doesn't happen. So you are on board this 2011 Beneteau Oceanis 40. She's lovely and big, she's lovely and beamy. We've got lots of head height down here. I'm 5'9", 5'10", and you can see there's so much room above me. It's absolutely fabulous. She's kitted out in the elegant pattern, so you can see that we've got this nice contrasting wood against the white or the creams of the inside of the hull moulding, and also the deck heads and also the upholstery, etc. Feels very contemporary, feels very nice, very light, bright and airy. So often we find boats like this where we're down inside the boat. Sometimes they can be a little bit dark and dingy, but this boat isn't, because as you can see, if we look up, we've got a hatch, we've got two more windows, we've got lovely big windows, port and starboard. The port is bigger because we've got the intrusion of the heads compartment on that side, but all of this transparency just lets the light flood in. And if we open the openers, two on the port, one on the starboard and one here, then we've got ventilation as well. We've got cooking fumes, moisture from the showers, etc. going out, and nice, dry, warm, hopefully air coming in. Very, very nice. And as I go around, all the hatches I've seen that we encounter have both a blackout blind like that and also a fly screen like that. So we've got the best of both worlds, even on the smaller hatches in the galley, which is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. We're feeling open plan. We're feeling light, bright and airy, and like we're going to have a really nice time on this boat. So let's start with where you are. You're sitting on the Companionway. Very nice and easy to get down. We've got lovely Companionway doors which fold back out the way. No lifting washboards up and trying to find where to put them. No fiddling about. We've got 5 steps down, and once you're in here you can easily lift that to look at the engine, where we'll look very shortly. But as we come down we can see that we've got two nice, really lovely handles here which will help us get up but also help us get down as well. And if we need to hold on to something, if we're in a seaway, then we can move to the starboard side here where we've got a nice big handle. But if we want to go further forwards, then I think the way that Beneteau have organised it for us is we've got lovely big fiddles all the way around this boat which we can use to make our way forwards. They do feel profiled, so I guess that's their use, as well as keeping liquids from coming from the galley, things falling off, etc, etc. So really, really nice, and that does help to keep this whole area really nice and clutter free. Very good. So what I'm going to do is pick you up now, and I'm going to move you into the centre of the compartment, or almost the centre. I'll put you on this sort of edge here so that you can see a little bit of the deck as well, and just try and articulate how nice it is down here. I mentioned that as you come down here we can lift this really easily. Now when we're at sea we should be looking at the engine at least every hour to make sure there's no oil leaks, fuel leaks, water leaks, etc, etc, and that the engine is as it should be. Very easy to do on this boat. We can lift this one up with a little bit of strength. There we go, she's on struts, and that brings her up to sort of chest height, and we can have a good look in here where we've got access. We have a battery, we've got some fluids that are stored down here. We get a really good idea if there's a leak very quickly on this boat, because we've got a nice bilge area that's all nice, white and clean. We can get to the engine, we can get to the filters, we can get to the water strainer, we can get to the saltwater impeller there if we need to change that. So all done really rather nice and easily. However, as this is up, it means that nobody can get up and down the companionway. The navigator can't move in an emergency, all that kind of stuff. So perhaps not the best to be using to check at sea, because you might bang your head, etc. But if we need to, we do have access panels in the aft cabins, which I'll show you as well, which might be a better choice. But either way, great access for when the time comes for that maintenance, or even an engine change one day. So once we're down here, We can see the compartment. On the left hand side here we've got the navigation area, the forward left hand side here we've got the galley, we've got the main saloon area on the right hand side, and finishing off with the ensuite head here, or the main day head here, which I'll take you into very shortly. Let's start on the saloon side of things. What can I say? Loads of seating. There's got to be seating for probably about 5 or 6 people around there. A couple more people on the bench here as well. Upholstery looks nice, and if I just move around and past you into the seating, there we go, feeling nice and comfortable. This is what life's all about. We've got stowage behind the seats. There's a lid here that lifts up. I can see a couple of wine bottles lurking under there, lovely. We've got cupboards above us here as well. We've got a shelf that's fiddled with a bar on the right hand side there, with a nice window out to look at the rest of the marina at head height down here, and another cupboard at the forward end here. And as with the rest of this boat, sort of on top of everything and most things is a lovely great big fiddle shelf, which is up there too. So I'll just extricate myself from there. There we go. And on this boat, if we want to, we can remove the 2 long bars that hold the saloon table up, replace them with short bars. The whole thing drops down, and we have other cushions which will infill over this table, giving us one massive ginormous double bed. Fantastic. Storage underneath all of them, where there isn't machinery. Under this one we've got the calorifier and a few other bits and pieces, but generally speaking, very nice layout, nice and out of the way, although you do have this bench seat here, but that doesn't really get in the way of passing through, though if you did have somebody in the galley area you would need them to get out of your way, so a little bit of a compromise there, but not too bad at all. You can see where the chain plates come through, you can see where the mass compression comes through, or the compression post. Again, it doesn't really matter because they're not in the way, they look modern, they're nice and shiny, and to be frank, if anything, really good to grab hold of in a seaway, or maybe even tie something to, so no worries at all. The floors are really nice wood, feels nice. I'm not picking up any creaking at all, and we've got lots of access to the bilge itself, so quite a shallow bilge, but there are lots of accesses to things like the impeller, the senders, etc, etc. But it's nice to see that they're not all screwed down, so in an emergency, if you really want to, you can get at them, which I think is really, really important. Telly on the forward bulkhead, we've got a carbon monoxide detector on the shelf up there, smoke detector on the right. As you can see, we've got recessed lighting all around. This boat will be lovely at night, and both the windows have got nice drop blinds down here, so you've got complete privacy on this boat whenever you want to, which is really nice at night. Lovely. So let's talk a little bit about the port side of this boat. As I mentioned, you've got navigation and you've got cooking, basically. So if I just perch myself on this navigation seat, although I don't need to perch because it's a really lovely wide navigation seat, more than you would normally see on most boats. Forward facing, which is important to a lot of people, and while I'm sitting here I can talk very, very nice and easily to whoever's performing in the galley, doing whatever they're doing. I can talk to anybody who's sitting at the saloon table, because they're within close distance as well, so I might be entertaining them, or I might be asking them for help on the chart, who knows. But also I've got reasonable access up to the helm as well, so if I need to talk to him, guide him, or change his or her direction, I can do that with no problem at all. Fantastic. So as I mentioned, we're forward facing. We've got a nice sized chart table, which these days debatably is becoming less and less of a need, but I think it's always good to have paper backup. We've got nice stowage underneath actually. This one's rammed with gear, so it won't quite close properly, but that's good because it's all useful chart publications. And then to the left here I've got pretty much everything I need to operate the boat in safety from this position. I've got battery conditioning there, which tells us the charging and capacity and levels in all of the batteries, which is a really nice unit. We have a nice Pioneer stereo here with USB in, but no Bluetooth. We have our VHF radio here as well, DSC, which is brilliant. Above here we have our heating control, and if I can get this down gently, we've got the radar and chart plotter here. Very nice integrated unit, so it mirrors itself with the cockpit, and we can either have the charts on here, or we can have the radar, or we can have them both overlaid, which is a really, really nice combination to have in that bad weather or the fog or at night, which hopefully you wouldn't be out in the fog, but if you ever did get caught short. So I'll just put the lid on that. There we go. Just after that here we have a bit of stowage behind there, and we've got the electrics panel here, all your bits and pieces. Nice deep cubby hole here, which is where everybody keeps their Macmillan's almanac, don't they? But there's always one stuffed in there somewhere. Then underneath there's a bit of leg space for your legs, I guess. But yeah, it does what it says on the tin. Really connected with the rest of the boat. You're not pushed away into a corner like so many chart tables are, facing the wrong way, that kind of thing. And if you wanted to use it for eating your dinner at, whatever, then you can do, but don't do it over the chart. Right then, so let's put the seat back up, which I was just knocked down. The galley, as you can see, nice long linear unit. As I mentioned, if you're standing here doing the washing up, or if you're standing here doing the cushion, somebody wants to get past, then you will have to excuse yourself briefly, but that's just a compromise, as are boats all compromises in some way or another. The first thing we come to at the back end is this big unit here, again nicely fiddled against liquid seepage, but also something to hold on to, I think. Nice big work surface if you need it, but if you lift the work surface underneath there, you've got a great big fridge which reaches all the way down there. You can see the cooling, the machinery cooling slats there. Fantastic, loads of room in there, so if you're going on a long trip, you've got lots of capacity there. Nice microwave, works off 240, there we go, that's nestled away in there. We've got a cupboard, and we've got the Gimbal Cooker here, so cooking at sea is okay. Bit of storage underneath it also. If I just run past and turn aft again, you can see another glorious window, nice little curtain in there as well for privacy, so I can wash up and look down at the lovely rippling water, making me feel so serene while I'm doing the washing up. Little shelf above, not great for putting things on really, but more decorational I think, because you've got the window feature, etc, but I guess you could leave your sponges up there, etc, but it's not really that secure. Another little cupboard up forward. And then below that we've got the main kind of utility area. We've got a double sink unit here, hot and cold water, etc. The sinks do have chopping boards to cover up, so there's a bit more work surface for you there. And that comes round in this sort of L shape in the corner. So you could have somebody washing up, you could have somebody cooking, and I think you could easily have somebody chopping or drying up here with no problem at all. Just underneath we've got nice big cupboards here, shelf in there. We've got another nice cupboard here with a shelf inside, and also a cutlery drawer there too. Pretty much everything you would want on a boat like this. Very nice. So that's the saloon, that's the galley, that's the navigation area, that's the companionway and the engine. Let's take you forward and show you the forward cabin, shall we? So what I will do is I'll perch you there. You're sort of on the end of the bed. There we go. Let's make sure you don't fall over. So you're in the forward cabin. Welcome. As we walk through the galley, as you can see, through the little corridor here, through the doorway, and imagine you're me, just a tiny bit of a squeeze to go through, and I just ducked my head down there a little bit so I don't bump it, but I think most people would duck just that tiny bit to get underneath, but either way, nice, generally wide aperture to get through. Down here we've got access to the log, etc, etc, and we can see the bilge as well, which is great. We have a heater outlet down here, and then just moving up a little bit, we've got a step, and you probably won't be able to see, but there's a little bit more storage underneath here, access to the bilge and the breakers for the bow thruster. Underneath here, underneath the bed, we have access to the 2 batteries and the bow thruster machinery, and as well, if we lift the mattresses up, there's also access to those bits of equipment from the top, which is lovely. Looking at the beds, you can see they're nice and long, they're nice and wide, so you should be comfortable in here for as long as you're going to be on board. Really nice. The rest of the cabin follows the rest of the boat. We're nice and white, we're nice and contrasting wood. Nice shelves, port and starboard in here. Starboard one's a little bit shorter because this is where the forward head is, which I'll show you shortly. At the top we've got still very good headroom down here, well over 6 feet, which is lovely, and carries on almost forwards, almost as far forward as we can go, I should say. And we have 2 nice windows either side. Now these don't open, we do have curtains for them, but we do have a nice opening hatch up here, again with the blackout and the insect screen there too. So very, very nice cabin. And if you close the door, then we can get changed in here. We've got plenty of room to throw ourselves about with our fowlies and our wellies or our swimming gear, whichever it is. It depends which continent you're sailing on, I suppose. But yeah, we have another hatch up here, which I hadn't noticed before actually, so that's useful. So 2 nice hatches in here, should keep her nice and ventilated while you're inside. Big fiddle shelf up here, nice hanging locker there, plenty of room in there. Altogether, I think a nice cabin. Would like to spend some time in here. But let's open the door again. There we go. And I'll open the door to the heads here before I pick you up. There we go. And take you for a magical mystery tour into the forward head compartment. There we go. So you're sitting almost in the middle of the compartment. Nice and easy to get in. Once you're in, again, the headroom hasn't dropped here at all, so loads of room in here, so anybody can stand and do what they need to do in here, I think, no problem at all. All white, contrasting wood again, really easy to clean radiuses around the moulding of this compartment. We have a sink in the forward end, we've got a shower here, which lifts up and latches here, so you can shower away to your heart's content. The water all disappears automatically down through the shower drain grill there, and we can pull these curtains across as well, which just hides the woodwork, stops the water getting inside and keeps it looking nice. So I think all in all, a nice compartment, bit smaller than the other heads, but still plenty of room in here. Okay, so I'll pick you up again and we will just close the door. And I'll take you for a quick trip through the saloon. There we go. And I'll put you in the Portaf Cabin first before we visit the starboard aft. There we go. So you're safely down now on the bed in the Portaf Cabin. And as you can see, we're well catered for again with windows, hatches, etc. We have an opening hatch here, an opening window here, and an opening window here, all with covers, and a non-opening window just looking out on the water, lovely, through the port side there. As is in the starboard cabin, we've got nice storage here which goes along the port side, and again really nice and easy to clean, easy to wipe down surfaces, so she's always going to stay looking nice. No saggy headlining, no upholstery, no carpet, none of that. All very good and nice and easy to clean. On the outboard side we have a fiddle shelf, as we do everywhere, another hanging locker here, and if I close the door actually, here we go, we're here in a nice lobby, so I've got room here to get changed, etc., to get into bed or out of bed in privacy, which is lovely. And if I just bend down, I mentioned that we had access to the engine. I can't open this one myself. We have port access to the engine here, and the cover's not quite on properly here. We have stern access to the engine as well, and I'll show you the cover in the starboard cabin. So that's really good, because that means the engineers or you can get to every single side of the engine, which is fairly unusual but really great for the engineers or the marine engineers, and I should know because I am one. That's a really nice feature. So let's pick you up and we'll take you through to the starboard aft cabin, which is basically a mirror, I think, in every way of the Portaf cabin, apart from the equipment that's beneath. Actually, let's put you up there so if you give you a slightly better view, so you're up in the gods with me. There we are. So again, great head height. We see so many after cabins. The moulding of the cockpit seating, which is what this is comes down low, so it means we're feeling a little bit claustrophobic, like there's no headroom, etc. Well, you'll see down here it's not quite like that. Usually the person who's under the low, we could say the low bit here, there's not room to sit up. But there's probably not quite room to sit up and read a book there, but there's room to turn over and do what you need to do. You're not going to be lying there feeling claustrophobic, which I think is really important. On the outboard side, you can see we've got the cover on the window there. We've got the stowage running along the starboard side, like the port cabin as well. You're sitting on the hanging locker on a fiddle shelf. We've got opening window, opening hatch. Really feeling nice. I'll close the door again, and if you can see, here we go, there's access to the outboard side of the engine. So really great for probably my preferred place for checking the engine whilst underway at sea, either in this cabin or the other one, rather than taking the companionway out of action. But that's just my personal preference, everybody. So let's pick you up, and I'll open this door here and place you right there. I can make sure you don't fall off. There we go. So you're in the day head and the ensuite head, and basically we have jack and Jill access, which means it can be used as the ensuite head or just as the day head, and I'll show you how that happens. So if we come in here from the aft cabin, then that means if this door's closed, we can use the loo without going out into the saloon and then back into this compartment. Bear with me one moment. And if we come through this door, when that door is closed, it means that the occupants of the rest of the boat can use this compartment without disturbing the occupants of the aft cabin. Really, really nice and useful. We do see it a lot, mainly on the bigger boats, but really, really nice feature, and we call it Jack and Jill access, basically, if you didn't know. I'm sure you did. Anyway, you're in the main head part of this compartment. We have the head here, so it's slightly at an angle, which is kind of unusual, but cool. And we've got a sink that you're sitting next to. We've got a towel rail stroke handhold here. We've got some storage underneath as well. And behind you or above the camera, we've got some nice opening mirrored cupboards there, which will give you the feeling of more space in here. Not that you really need it, because again, loads of high headroom in here. Lovely big window here with an opener, no worries at all. And in here we have the shower, so a proper shower unit there. It could be just like having a shower at home. We just close the doors here and you can shower away to your heart's content without getting everything absolutely drenched. Very nice indeed. And the resultant water all disappears down into the drain tank there, so the drain holes, and we have on the outboard side here, this is where we have the holding tank. So very nice compartment, plenty of room, and access from two areas, which is great. So let's exit that cabin, and I'll place you back where you started, and we'll sum up by saying that this has been Tim from Boatshed Brokers, taking you for a really good look around the interior of this Beneteau Oceanis 40 from 2011. You can see how 10 years later, this is 2022, so what, 11 years later, this boat is still shining. She's looking, the woodwork's looking great, all the white stuff is looking really great, and it's feeling contemporary, modern, like Brighton area, but a real feel-good factor down here, definitely. So thanks for watching. Do join us for tours of all of the boats that we enter. We hope you've enjoyed having a good look around with us today, and we hope to see you again in the future. Take care.